Bobby Worthington here for Chasing Giants TV. This is a Mission Whitetail series, and as always, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm getting ready to travel today. I've got a long drive up north for a trophy hunt. I hadn't done a whole lot of serious trophy hunting since I lost my hunting partner, my son, but I'm getting back into it. Now, you know, I'm out here this morning going to make a long trip today, and it may take me 2 hours, knowing me, to get this right. But I just wanted to say that me and the guys in Chasing Giants TV, we don't have to put this out there. The last thing I want, and most of them probably also, is to spend time doing this, especially this time of year, and to be put out there on the internet. I know some people, they enjoy that, and they like that fame, but people that know me and tell you there's nothing that I despise more than to do this and put myself out there. But on the other hand, I have spent a lifetime of doing something, and I think that I've got something to offer, and I think I'm obligated to be a good stewardship of bow hunting, and hopefully I can put something out there, and other people and maybe young people can catch on better and enjoy the sport more. So that's why I'm doing this, and we do this. Hey, I want to point out a tree behind me here. It's a big old white oak. It drew an exceptionally large limb out to one side, and it's got the whole tree bowed. And then it drew a brace under the limb. You can see under that big limb, there's a brace that's holding that limb up. A carpenter couldn't have braced it no better. You know, nature has got a way to adapt. God put in nature and wildlife and in plants and trees the ability to adapt and evolve, and when certain things are needed. You know, it's amazing what we put on a whitetail deer nowadays. We've got self cameras, and the woods are full of them, and the ballistics on muzzle loaders and rifles and even bows and crossbows, and we're after them in every way known. We manipulate a property to set it up where you can kill deer easier with the food plots in certain places in the bedding areas, and shooting houses. My goodness, we can sit there all day out of the elements if we choose to hunt that away, and have heaters in there, I guess, and I guess TVs, I don't know what all. But it's just amazing that how things can adapt and evolve to fit the situation they're in to survive. And if God didn't put this in nature, we would have probably lost a lot more species of plants and animals by now. I want to talk to you about a key word here. It's confidence. I think it's so important. I just think that lack of confidence holds a lot of people back in their lives. So I want to mention that. I wrote a quote from a new book trying to instill in people the need for confidence, and it goes something like this. Other than the realization that we are accountable beings, the discovery of our own potential is the single most important event in our lives. It will allow us to boldly move forward without wavering, without flinching, without doubting. And then I go on to say that no one has ever excelled in any arena while cumbered with the burden of doubt. And I tell you, I just think that successful people have a lot of things, a lot of traits, but I think one of the greatest traits they have is confidence in themselves and their ability. Of course, we must use one of the other key words I talked about, knowledge, to gain the right technique and to give us the confidence. And you get that knowledge by studying and listening to and talking with and maybe reading things from somebody that has had sustained success over a long period of time. Not a flash in the pan that gets successful and does something one time real well, like maybe win a world championship. There are certain circumstances that could allow that to happen, and the person might not have the ability to teach others. He might not have the knowledge himself, but somebody that's had sustained success over a long period of time. Once we go to them and get the knowledge and understand it, and understand that that's the best way we can possibly do something, then we need to realize that and move forward. And a lot of people jump around all their life trying to do a certain thing a certain way. There's so much confusion out there on that internet. But if you'll go to somebody that has sustained success over a long period of time, you can cut through a lot of that confusion. And then you won't be jumping around and chasing rabbits down empty holes. Once I discovered the techniques I use for hunting big deer, and once I realized that puts the odds in my favor more than any one thing, then I was able to move forward without wavering, and that has given me some success in life. Now the wind's starting to blow. Can everybody hear me? If you can't, raise your hand. All right, okay, we're going to move forward here. You know, we ought to nurture confidence in ourselves and in young people especially. I know one kid that was told often by his mama he never would mount a hill, and I ain't going to say the word, but let's just say hill of beans, and that he never would make nothing out of himself, and that he couldn't do nothing right. And I've seen it with other kids too, and that's just awful. You know, I remember the words of Jesus, it'd be better for a millstone to be tied around somebody's neck and cast into the deep than to offend one of these little ones. So we need to nurture confidence, and we don't need to get on that internet and be telling people and putting them down that they're not doing stuff good. Now, a lot of people don't know what they're doing, but they'll figure that out, and you can figure that out too. But we need to nurture confidence in kids. I've learned this from studying sports psychology. Got pretty involved in archery one time, and the Olympics, all Olympic techniques and different games have sports psychologists that helps them. And these psychologists has learned something. They have learned that you can never perform better than you think you can. So in archery, that's the same thing. I can teach somebody physically archery at this level. I can teach them all the physical techniques and have them perfect in executing, and I can teach them at a high level here. And if they only think they can shoot at a lower level, then they'll never be able to shoot at a higher level. That has been proven. And I think that's so interesting. That's why if we're teaching a kid archery, we move him close to the target and we put a big target up. And when he shoots an arrow, we say, that's the way you shoot. And see, we got to not only build the physical part of any technique, we've got to build the mental part. It's called performance image, and you will never shoot better than you think you can. And I don't think that only applies to physical techniques. I think that applies to all areas of life. You know, I make a big statement in that quote when I say, other than the realization that we are accountable beings, the discovery of our own potential is the single most important thing in our lives. And we are accountable beings. We're accountable to our family. We're accountable to the laws of the land, our fellow man, and we're definitely accountable to God. And the people that don't realize and hadn't been taught when they was a kid that they're accountable, they're going to find out. They may end up in prison. But anyway, that's a big statement. But I really think that discovering our own potential is the single most important thing in our lives. You know, we all can't be doctors or lawyers or brain surgeons. I can't be any of them. I don't perform on that level at all. But I had a little knack for this hunting thing, and because probably I've spent a lifetime in the woods. When we was kids, we didn't have much to do to entertain us, so we went out in the woods. But I heard a statement years ago that said, be all you can be. Now, I don't know who come up with that, but that is very significant. The more I think about it, the more significant it is. Be all you can be. And that's saying that you have certain potential, and that if you will nurture that potential and move forward and become the best at it, then you've succeeded in life. And there's not anything that will help us do that more than confidence. So I think you ought to gain the right knowledge about what you're endeavoring to do, whether it's bow hunting or whatever. And I think once you have spent enough time to gain that knowledge and realize that that is the best way for you to go about it, then I think that confidence in what you're doing will allow you to move forward without wavering, without doubting. You know, it takes a lot of confidence in hunting technique, especially when you do like I do and hunt these big woods. You may set a week or several days and not see a deer. Then you may go 1 or 2 seasons and not even kill a big deer, because it's just so difficult sometimes in some of the places I hunt, especially wildlife managed areas. But having confidence in your technique and knowing that you're doing it the best way that you can do it will get you out of bed on them cold mornings, and it'll allow you to sit out in the elements in the tree stand all day long. And finally, you'll find out that slowly you'll succeed and become better at what you do. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about confidence. I've got to get on the road. I appreciate you all tuning in to Chasing Giants TV, a Mission Whitetail series. I hope you all have a great deer season, and we'll be talking to you soon.